Hi, this is Mark News from Plant Talk Radio. Thanks for subscribing and listening to our podcast, Your Gardening Questions from Plant Talk Radio. If you have a gardening question you'd like our host Fred Howard to answer, send him an email. The email address is fred@planttalkradio.com. Now for today's question.
Hi, good morning. Boy, do I have a question for you this morning.
Okay.
We just attempted to take a tree down. Well, we did, except for the stump. It's a 12 to 15-foot tree, like a little shade tree, up closer to our kitchen area.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is it okay to remove the stump and everything that we can find under it that's wooden and plant another tree there?
Yes. You're going to find it slightly difficult because at that size, it's going to have, well, a good bit of wood underground. However, interestingly enough, yesterday where I was driving, someone had done just exactly that. There was a root cluster, and oh boy, it was probably 2.5 feet wide, tip to tip, and a stump in it of 12 inches in height where they cut it off, and that was probably a 6 to 8 inch diameter stem. I didn't pay much attention, but that's about what a 12 to 15 foot tree would have. So go out 2.5 feet from the trunk of the old tree, start digging down, cutting, digging, pushing, pulling, etc., and take it out, and then go right ahead and plant again, because there should be, well, there's nothing in that you're not losing it to disease. There's no carryover, so I'd say go for it.
No, I think with my home pruning it at the wrong times, it might have encouraged it to die on that one side, or my husband thinks it got hit by lightning because it's totally dead on that one side.
Well, at 12 to 15 feet, I'm going to guess it wasn't lightning, but I will not know.
Okay.
If lightning kills, it usually kills whole tree or just travels on the outside and splits it open. Either way. But anyhow,
okay.
That could indicate, what kind of tree was it?
You asked me too quick this morning. It was pretty purple leaves on it. It's 12 to 15. It's a shorter shade tree.
Crimson King maple sound familiar?
Probably, but a short one.
Okay.
Yes.
That is a grafted tree. There could have been graft incompatibility. And the reason for asking you is that if it was a maple, there is at least a possibility of what's called verticillium wilt that killed the tree. I would recommend to you that just because it was maple, I'm guessing that it was maple, I would put in a different genus of plants, anywhere from a hornbeam to a redbud to, well, no, wait a minute, redbud
We're going to put a thundercloud there. They have one small tree in out of 3 nurseries here that grow 12 to 15, and it's thundercloud.
Okay, good tree, short-lived, however, and that's okay, because as you have just done, you buy new clothing as the styles change. There's no reason not to put in the thundercloud, but they do have a couple of enemies in terms of disease, but go for it, because while they're young and vibrant, they're absolutely magnificent, and then they don't get so darn big, so you don't have to fight them with the pole pruners and so on. So, yeah, I'd say go for it.
Okay, one last question. 2.5 feet from the trunk that we're going to take out with the truck, the stump, 2.5 feet all around that, get all the wood. Then what is your best advice for getting the new one that'll be in a ball or something? What is the best thing we should do to plant it?
Well, you're going to have opened up a hole that will be just about the right size for the new thundercloud or purple plum. So you're just going to measure depth of the container or ball of the plum and make sure there's no extra soil on top of that ball, because then you can be induced to plant it too deep. So anyhow, measure top to bottom of the ball, and you're probably going to be down maybe even lower than the tree should be planted. So if anything, if you do end up lower, put some soil on the bottom and stomp the daylights out of it so it doesn't settle after the fact. Then go ahead and just plant the tree in a regular way.
Hey, thanks again for listening to our podcast. Be sure to subscribe to our other podcasts as well, the Plant of the Week podcast and the Plant Talk Radio podcast, all on iTunes or your favorite podcast player. If you'd like to sponsor a daily podcast, contact us at fred@planttalkradio.com. To find out more about Fred Hauer and Plant Talk Radio, visit our website, planttalkradio.com.
Circle270media.com